In the remote wilderness of Utah, adventurer Aaron Ralston embarked on a solo canyoneering expedition into Bluejohn Canyon. Little did he anticipate the gravity of what lay ahead. Trapped beneath a fallen boulder, his arm pinned with no one aware of his plight, Aaron faced an existential battle against time and nature. With each passing moment, his struggle for survival intensified, pushing him to the brink of desperation. And with no one coming to save him, there was only one way he could escape. But was he able to do it successfully? Let's talk about it. This is the harrowing story of Aaron Lee Ralston. Aaron Lee Ralston was born to parents Larry and Donna Ralston on the 27th of October 1975 in Marion, Ohio. He lived here until he was 12 years old, when his family relocated to the city of Denver, Colorado. Whilst attending Cherry Creek High School in Greenwood Village, Aaron would find a passion in bouldering, skiing, hiking, and everything outdoors. He would often spend his time after school walking with friends and enjoying nature. This passion followed him throughout his life, and after he graduated from Carnegie Mellon University in 1997 with a degree in mechanical engineering and French, he continued exploring and becoming more experienced in the outside world, and Colorado was the perfect place for this. In the summer, he worked as a rafting guide, which furthered his passion for outdoor activities. However, after graduation, he found himself working at Intel as a mechanical engineer, a job which, although stable and well paid, was not what he wanted to do. After 5 years of working for a large corporation, Aaron found himself burnt out. In his spare time, he would climb mountains and set himself the goal of climbing all 14 Colorado mountains over 14,000 feet in winter. In May of 2002, Aaron quit his job to climb Mount Denali, the largest mountain in North America. After this, he moved out to the skiing town of Aspen to continue with his goal of climbing the 14 peaks. In 2003, an incident would occur on Resolution Peak when he and his skiing partner were caught in a Grade 5 avalanche, which shook the group to their core. No one was seriously injured, but his friends refused to speak to him in the aftermath, which should have changed his outlook on safety and risk assessment. Nevertheless, this did not deter Aaron from his passion, and he would continue to adventure across America, mostly on his own. After his friends cancelled a mountaineering trip they had planned, he had 5 days to spare, and in April of 2003, he found himself in Utah, and on the 26th, he decided to go canyoneering through Bluejohn Canyon alone. Bluejohn Canyon, located in Utah's remote Robbers Roost area, is a dramatic sloped canyon renowned for its narrow, winding passages and sheer towering walls. Carved into the Navajo-stained stone, the canyon offers a challenging terrain for even the most experienced canyoneers. With sections only a few feet wide, the canyon poses a serious challenge involving rappelling, scrambling, and navigating tight squeezes. Due to its remote location, reaching Bluejohn Canyon requires significant off-road travel and thorough preparation, and although Aaron was prepared, he made an absolute crucial error. He was young and overconfident and told no one that he was going. He arrived at Canyon Slant National Park on April the 25th and could not wait to explore. That night, he slept in his truck. At 9 o'clock the next day, he set off on his bike to Bluejohn Canyon, which was 15 miles away. He locked his bike and made his way through an opening of the slot canyon. A slot canyon is a narrow, deep canyon with steep vertical walls. Whilst lowering himself into the lower part of the canyon, he put his weight onto a boulder which was suspended in the air by the opposing canyon walls. This caused the rock to dislodge, and both Aaron and the rock fell deep into the canyon below. In a split second, Aaron found his arm wedged between the boulder and the wall. He was now trapped. No one knew he was there, and he was 15 miles from a paved road. He tried to pull his arm free, but it was no use. He knew if something did not come across, he would die. However, He had some food, including 2 burritos and a candy bar, and also a bottle of water, which he could make last for a few days. The first day passed slowly. He spent it chipping away at the boulder with his multi-tool, but it was no use. He would take small sips of water and little bites of his food to get him by. He debated cutting through his arm, but Aaron only had a cheap multi-tool, which made the task of sawing through his bone seemingly impossible. So he continued on chipping away at the rock. It was now night time and he was unable to sleep. He said, "Even if I wanted to sleep, I couldn't. The penetrating chill of the night air urges me to keep attacking the rock to generate warmth, and when my consciousness does fade, my knees buckle and my weight tugs on my wrist in an agonizing call to attention." Because of this, he managed to create a makeshift seat with climbing gear to help release tension on his legs and wrists. He could now lean back, but this would restrict blood flow to his legs, so he had to stand up and sit down in repeated 20-minute intervals. After what seemed like forever, sun would shine through the canyon. He made it through the first night trapped. The next day, after a few more unsuccessful attempts at freeing himself from the canyon, he heard faint voices in the distance. He screamed for help over and over again, but he heard nothing back. He then realized there was no one in the canyon. He was delirious and desperate. Aaron was now seriously debating amputating his arm, coming up with ideas how to do so, and creating a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. He managed to make a makeshift tourniquet, but the plan was still useless, as he knew he could not cut through his bone. He put the knife to his wrist, but he could not do it. The thought repulsed him. 24 hours after becoming trapped in the canyon, Aaron picked up his camcorder and recorded a family message. He said, "It's 3:05 on Sunday. This marks my 24-hour mark of being stuck in Bluejohn Canyon. My name is Aaron Ralston. My parents are Donna and Larry Ralston of Englewood, Colorado. Whoever finds this, please make an attempt to get this to him. Be sure of it. I would appreciate it." He went to apologize and admitted going out alone without telling anyone was dumb. He thought he would most likely be dead by Tuesday. By the third day, Aaron had an idea. His previous makeshift tourniquet was too weak for the job and was unable to stop the blood flow. He said, "I realize that I am not confident in my tourniquet. I need something more flexible than the tubing and more elastic than the that's it elastic. The neoprene tubing insulation from a camelback is supple but strong. It's perfect." With a mix of elation and frustration, Aaron retrieved the tubing insulation from his backpack, wrapping it tightly around his forearm before attempting to cut into his skin with a knife, only to find it futile as the blade failed to penetrate his skin, leaving him questioning his plan and cursing his luck. It was at this point Aaron did something he would never done before. He prayed, "God, I am praying to you for guidance. I am trapped here in Bluejohn Canyon. You probably know that, and I don't know what I am supposed to do. Please show me a sign," but nothing would happen. "Okay, God, since you are apparently busy, devil, if you are listening, I need some help here. I will trade you my arm, my soul, whatever you want. Just get me out of here." By day 4, he was running low on water. He wondered if anyone was looking for him, if he would ever see his loved ones again, or eat his favorite meal. Once again, he pulled out his camcorder, recording a message for his family. He said, "It's 6:45 in the morning on Tuesday morning. Mom, Dad, I really love you guys. Thank you for both being understanding and supportive. I really have lived this last year. I wish I had learned some lessons more astutely, more rapidly than what it took to learn." He also recorded a message for his sister, who was soon to get married. He said, "I wanted to say Sonia and Zach that I really wish you the best in your upcoming life together. Do great things with your life that will honor me the best. Thanks." He then decided again to attempt cutting through his arm. With huge effort, He managed to break through the skin and hit bone. He was surprised at the little amount of blood that came out, but by now his arm was decomposing due to lack of blood flow, but he was still unable to cut through. He decided to drink the last of his water and see what fate had in store for him. It was now day 5. Aaron was delirious, hearing and seeing things. He knew if he didn't escape today or the next day, he would die. He etched his name into the rock, his date of birth, and what he thought would be the date of his death. He had visions of a boy, his future son, which gave him hope that he would alive. This vision would change everything. It gave Aaron one more idea. What if he broke the bones in his forearm and then cut through? He said. There was no hesitation. I barely realized what I'm about to do. I unclipped the anchor webbing, crouching until my buttocks are almost touching the stones on the canyon floor. I put my left hand under the boulder and pushed harder to put a maximum downward force on my radius bone. As I slowly bend my arm down to the left, a pow reverberates like a muted cap gunshot. He had just snapped the bones. After breaking the bones in his forearm, he successfully amputated his arm with a multi-tool, which took over an hour, but he was now free. 6 days later, he was free. Aaron, who was now free, used the adrenaline to climb out of the slowed canyon, rappelled down a 65-foot cliff, and started his hike back to his car. He was now so close to being saved, but his car was 8 miles away, and he was delirious and close to death. With remarkable willpower, Aaron managed to hike 6 out of the 8 miles to his car when he stumbled across a Dutch family hiking in the canyon. Little did Aaron know, a search rescue team were already in the area after his family alerted him as missing. So when the Dutch family called the authorities, they got to him very quickly. At this point, Aaron had lost 25% of his blood volume and had lost 40 pounds. But he was now in the hands of the rescue team, who transported him to hospital by helicopter. According to Aaron, if I hadn't made it that far at that exact time, within minutes one way or the other, then I would be late to death. When Aaron Ralston was rescued and brought to the hospital, he underwent immediate medical treatment for severe dehydration, malnutrition, and the injuries sustained during his ordeal. His right forearm, which he had self-amputated to free himself, required immediate attention. Surgeons performed an operation to properly amputate the crushed part of his arm and to address any other medical concerns he had. After his surgery, Aaron began his recovery process both physically and emotionally. His story of survival was chronicled in his book Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and later portrayed in the film 127 Hours. Today, Aaron has recovered. He works as a public speaker, adventurer, and environmental advocate, and still loves the outdoors, although now he takes preparation very seriously.